news updates.
Good morning and hello to you all. I am Grant Sterling with Around the World News. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties in studio, so please stay tuned. Our top story this morning, a major development into the investigation of the global pandemic. We're learning that international authorities and the scientific community have finally reached their consensus regarding the origins of the highly infectious pathogen that changed the world forever. Joining us live today is Bob Dudley, an expert in the biohazardous waste containment and decontamination field. With over 20 years of experience, Bob has multiple white papers and case studies on autoclave decontamination. He is also the founder of Safe-Decon Incorporated. Good morning, Bob, and thanks for joining us this morning. Could you please tell us a little bit about your discoveries and what led you to discovering that viable pathogens are not only possibly, but highly probably escaping labs? May correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that all biohazardous waste is supposed to be autoclaved before be transported. Is that correct?
Thank you, John. I really appreciate the opportunity and the you allowing me to come on and share my passion, which is safety. That's me. Been doing it for almost 2 decades. Been into a lot of the high containment places throughout the country. Got into the research by accident. But then again, I don't believe in accidents. So that's where I kind of got my start, and then got into it very, very well. I want to talk about, because I have a lot of information and a little bit of time, and I want to get through it as quickly as possible because I want to respect you guys' time. But the known fact is what we're trying to do here, despite just rigorous proto-safety calls and SOPs and everything that we do, things do get out. And I'm actually a living example of that. I've had 3 known and probably several unknown exposures when I was working in these high containments. Most of them, in fact, none of them happened when I was in the back. Most of them happened on the clean side. I was quarantined twice, had to go through rigorous testing. I do know that it does get out. And that brings me to a certain point here. And in my travels, and I've traveled all over the country, the labs all over the country resolving issues. And one of the things I've noticed is really the lack of training and understanding of the autoclave. Those that I've serviced, you know I teach everybody and I make people understand. Of all the equipment that I work in the back in environmental cabinets, this is the one piece of equipment that is absolutely critical. There's no other way of putting it. If something happens in an environmental cabinet, you lose control of something, the environmental cabinet, your PPE, the room, the hallway, airflows contain it. Once you stick something into that autoclave, that is the bioseal from absolute control in the back to non-control. So it is critical to get back, to make sure that everything that you get is done. And I know, in my talks, most of these people go, Bob, it's okay. It's not a problem because it's going to go in this container, it's going to be shipped off, and it's going to be incinerated. Firstly, there's only 3 incinerators left in the United States that do the incineration. What ends up happening is they do put this thing into a truck, and what happens is it's hauled down, then they stick it back in an autoclave. And by the way, the guy that does this, he's all peppered up because he knows that the likelihood that the labs have gotten the kill are probably not 100%. He's peppered up and having to stick this thing back into an autoclave. Then it comes out, then they sort through it, and they get rid of it. And then, of course, any of your bedding, fecal matter, carcasses, tissues, anything like that is sent off to be incinerated. But I want you to know that it doesn't end at where you stick it in and the guy hauls it off. What you don't know is this what you see here is what can happen to your waste. On average, there are 3 to 4 accidents a year with these trucks. So when you say, Bob, it's okay that it's going to be hauled off, you have to take into consider this. In the video, I have a video, and in it, a woman is walking by with a baby in her stroller, and she literally walked right through it and went into the Aldi that you see. Look at the policeman and the guy and a truck driver. You'll see that there's no PPE. There's nothing on here. And if you look at the top of the truck and then you look down here, that is lab waste in those bins. So they mix them up, and there's a lot of hospital waste as well. It shows people pulling over because all the lanes were blocked with the waste. So the truck driver's trying to move it over so people could get around. People were getting out of their vehicles and helping him to move things out of the way. So you have to understand, when you say that it's hauled off, this can happen. And it happens on average 3 to 4 times a year. So it is important that we get it right when we leave these labs. It most definitely. So what is the challenge? Everybody knows the challenge. We're just trying to achieve something that is predictable, validatable decontamination results. The problem is you have different loads. People are loading stuff, they're overloading. You have liquids, and different components act different ways when they get into the autoclave. And this is where it becomes very, very, very tricky. Steam penetration is inconsistent, especially inside closed and overpacked bags. Those red bags, they're a great insulator. I got a bag. I want to show you something here. Now that I'm off the screen, you seal this bag and it's sealed up. You stick it in the autoclave that you see here. Now what you're doing is there's no way for the air to exchange in this. You have to heat the chamber. The heat goes around this, and plastic's a good insulator, by the way. It's a very, very good insulator. So if you're running even like a liquid cycle or something like that, you're running those samples, what happens is you're now having to heat the contents and then heat the liquids on the inside. So you're almost going to have to leave the bag open. If you leave the bag open, there is no containment whatsoever. None. You have zero containment. And if the bag bursts, you now have no containment. So if you open that autoclave, now you have to fish out the BI. Now you have to go rooting around in here for the BI. And like I said, it's about making the autoclave do what it needs to do. And the autoclave is not designed to penetrate bags and other things. And that's where the liquids come into play. And, this is, and most, I'm gonna pitch my product here real quick, because this is after I got exposed. Most of I tried to come up with a way to fix this problem. One, to try and speed up the process, but two, this was about safety. This was about self-preservation. And that's why I came up with the Safe-Decon product. This is a sealed container. It has special valves on here that open up and allow the heat to come in. So once the cycle starts, it senses the heat, opens the valve. This gives you direct contact with the contents. And that's one of the reasons why I did the testing. One, I just wanted to prove the theory of the liquids, but I always throw and try to challenge this as much as possible. At the end of the cycle, this shuts back up. So if you have any liquids that you're losing or blowing up, this contains it. This is airtight and permeable. And the reason I put that in there is just the absolute importance of, just being safe. Part of the problem is, for almost 20 years, I've been told, Bob, you're safe enough. Not that you're safe, Bob, you're safe enough. And that's what I've been hearing. And that phrase always bothered me. I always hated that phrase, Bob, it's okay, you're safe enough. There's procedures for whatever. And it's one of the reasons why I came up with this product. And that's why I'm just going to show you real quick for those that are new. These are the valves that are on the inside. I also invented a way, because everybody hates fishing out your biological indicator. So this is going to remain airtight and impermeable. This is the what we call the BioPen. It just screws in. There is a self-sealing port right here that you're going to push. It seals around it. You have now injected your BI into the middle of your load. At the end of the load, the valves will shut back up, making it airtight. You're just going to pull that out, wipe it down, pull your biological indicator out, run it, and now you're going to know. Now, that's as simple as that. So with that, I want to thank you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, John, for the opportunity. Hopefully I didn't take up too much time. I tried to rush through it.
Wow. What a sobering look at the critical role that proper decontamination protocols play in global safety. So thank you for your time and your expertise this morning, Bob. We really appreciate it. We will continue to follow this story as more details from the official report are unsealed throughout the day. You can find more details about Bob and his case studies on his website, www.safedeconing.com. And coming up next, we take a look at rising temperatures across the Southwest. It's going to be a hot one this summer in Arizona.